Thank you for the introduction and that warm welcome. It's great to be with you this afternoon. Now, I'd like to, if I may, take aim right at the outset at a pervasive and seductive idea in the world today that world-class performance, whether in mathematics or chess or sport or fund management or accountancy or whatever, is about having lots of natural talent. That you have a certain group of people who are born with the right set of gifts or aptitudes, or in the scientific jargon, the right kind of genetic inheritance that enables them to excel. And on the other hand, you have a group of rather less fortunate people who lack those gifts or aptitudes, and by implication are destined at best for mediocrity. I want to argue over the course of this presentation that this notion of success, which is a cornerstone of Western culture, is at best misleading and at worst highly destructible. I want to argue that the two variables above all else that predict high levels of performance in anything complex, and I'll define complexity as I go along, and I want to make some observations about both of these factors, are the quantity of our practice on the one hand, or the quantity of our domain experience. So quantity is a fundamental thing. One needs to clock up lots of hours, and this is very well established in the literature. Even child prodigies, very young people who are doing remarkable things in their early teens, who may seem to have got there rather fast, and therefore insinuate that it must have been talent, because how else? They didn't even practice very hard. No, just look at their biographical histories, and the same story emerges every single time. They just started younger. Quantity is important, but perhaps I think in cultural terms and in business terms, the thing that is most underrated is the quality of practice, or the quality of our domain experience. What does high quality experience or high quality practice look like? Well, it looks slightly different depending on the area that one is examining, but there are two aspects of high quality practice that are true of pretty much all domains. The second one that I'm going to mention is more important than the first, but the first one is being stretched. Being stretched. I'll highlight it with a sporting metaphor. World-class figure skaters fall over more often in practice than low-level figure skaters, which sounds rather contradictory, but the reason is the world-class figure skaters are always attempting jumps that are stretching their current limitations. That is a remarkably effective way in which to learn. The other thing that's very important to high-quality learning, I think the most important thing of all, is feedback. And I mean this in the following, just example after example. You can go to any business, any organisation, and see that those that are successful are on the money when it comes to feedback. Moreover, people in the growth mindset want this feedback because they know it helps them to grow. In the fixed mindset, people don't want to hear the feedback, because they don't want to know if they're going wrong, because it can be psychologically devastating to them. Now, does our empirical belief about where world-class performance comes from have any psychological implications that may or may not be damaging? Sort of over here, you have those who say, to be really good at something, you need talent. On the other hand, over here, you have people who take a different view, who would say it's about effort. Young and older people in this mindset worship effortless performance. The idea that if I can do something without even trying, that shows how super talented I am. That is their nirvana. But if one is ashamed of the hard work, the process through which world-class performance is constructed, that's going to damage the individuals, and over time it's going to be devastating to the institution. The brain is a highly adaptable organ of the human body. To use a slightly simplistic metaphor, the onboard computer that we use to make sense of phenomena in a given domain, its efficiency is a function of the experiences we put it through. That's why the idea of innate talent can be so damaging, because it doesn't recognize the capacity that we have to grow. And with that, I'll hand back over. Thank you very much.